We'll now discuss California Mechanical Code Chapters 8 and 9, which are titled Chimneys and Vents and Specific Appliances, respectively. We'll start by discussing the elements included in Chapter 8, which deals with chimneys and vents. It's important to understand that this chapter covers the venting of fuel-burning appliances to the outdoors. And as a special note, this topic of gas venting is extremely dependent on a lot of design characteristics, and inspectors are reminded to inspect for plan and specification compliance. This particular chapter is very heavily design related and is going to be used primarily by mechanical engineers in designing the systems which are going to be installed within the building. With respect to venting of appliances, there are some special characteristics associated with appliance venting. Obviously, these particular appliances are going to be fuel fired, hence the reason for the venting, and there are certainly some appliances which will not require venting, and there is a list of them that's included. We'll briefly discuss some new amendments to Chapter 8 contained in Section 802.6, which deals with gas vents. And as we've stated before, gas vents are required to be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's installation instructions. Type BW gas vents must have a listed capacity not less than the wall furnace connected, which seems obvious, but obviously is going to be reiterated by the design professionals drawing the plans themselves. Gas vents installed in masonry chimneys must be identified with a specific label, and fasteners are not permitted to penetrate the inner wall of double wall gas vents, except at sun transitions. Section 802.6.1 has some very helpful figures which describe the termination requirements for gas vents. To generally summarize, gas vents that are less than or equal to 12 inches in diameter and located 8 foot minimum from a vertical wall or similar obstruction must terminate above the roof in accordance with figures 802.6.1 and table 802.6.1. Gas vents that exceed 12 inches in diameter or are located within 8 feet from a vertical wall or similar obstruction are required to terminate 2 feet minimum above the highest point where they pass through the roof, and 2 foot minimum above any portion of a building within 10 foot horizontally of the termination. For type B and L vents, these particular vents are required to terminate 5 feet minimum above the highest connected appliance draft hood or flue collar. And to clarify, type B listing hoods are basically draft hood equipped and gas-fired appliance vents. Type L are distinguished by being oil-fired or natural gas-fired appliance vents. Chapter 9 of the California Mechanical Code addresses the installation of some specific appliances. Section 902.1 addresses non-industrial appliances, and this chapter is applicable to non-industrial type appliances and their installations. However, it's almost become somewhat obsolete with the proliferation now of the mechanical code stipulating that all installations of components and also equipment and appliances are required to comply with the manufacturer's installation instructions. So it's and their listings. So it's extremely important to get copies of the O&M manuals and ensure that your inspections verify compliance with that document. There are three main considerations, obviously, simple, fundamental considerations for the installation of any non-industrial appliance. And they are, number one, air for combustion and ventilation. Number two, clearance requirements to any combustible materials. And number three, venting systems. And to add one note, it is extremely important that the project inspector perform very timely review of any submittals so that they're fully prepared to inspect these installations in compliance with the manufacturer's installation instructions. And to somewhat reiterate the three main considerations for the installation of any appliances, this includes any added or converted appliances. So we would see something like this in an alteration or maybe a rehabilitation type project. But again, the big three are air for combustion and ventilation, clearance requirements to combustible materials, and also the venting systems themselves. Section 902.14 is new to the 2019 version of the California Mechanical Code, and it basically states that wherever excuse me, the gas supply pressure is higher than or varies beyond the rating for each particular gas appliance being served, that a gas pressure regulator is required to be installed. And to provide kind of a quick summary of the examples of specific appliances that are discussed in Chapter 9, they include air conditioning appliances, central heating boilers and furnaces such as duct furnaces, floor furnaces, wall furnaces, clothes dryers, fireplaces, and a variety of heaters including recirculating direct gas-fired industrial heaters, room heaters, unit heaters, pool heaters, and there's a whole variety of appliances that are included in Chapter 9, and it's certainly worth reviewing the information contained in it.